Okay. This is going to be a bit of a weird one. I'm going to put a link in our show notes here that you can click on.
All right.
This is this isn't really this is a person who has been really irritating me on social media.
Wow, he's going for it, man. So,
This is very personal. I'm gonna single this guy out. This
hey, this
guy
goes to
is
Lewis's Twitter profile. What is this?
this guy
Wait a
is
minute. I'm
named,
sorry. You're calling out one person?
yes.
Wow.
Let's do it, man. Light him
This
up.
guy
Wow. This
is
is getting
named
personal.
Michael Darius, and he has been like the source of a bizarre fascination with me and a friend of the show, Sam Henry Gold. So this guy who has been going viral on Threads for a few months now, and he's this guy's a total hack. You can tell he's a pretentious asshat because he has on his website a picture of Steve Jobs on the cover of Rolling Stone with the caption, "I put my boss on the cover of Rolling Stone magazine."
I'm looking for it.
That's where I'm going to start because this guy sells himself as being the personal protege of Steve Jobs. And he has like all of these, his whole bit is that on Threads and like social media, probably Twitter too, he talks about his time at Apple history. So this guy worked, like I looked into it. He only actually worked at Apple from 2000 to 2005, and he worked on the iTunes Music Store and iTools, the GarageBand, and later he claims to have worked on OS 10 Panther. Like, okay, if you think about it for a second, do you think Steve Jobs' protege was, Scott Forstall, who he ate lunch with famously every day, or oh, what's her name? Katie Cotton, who basically invented modern Apple PR? Or do you think it was some random guy who worked on iTools? That just doesn't make any sense. So, like, half the headshots on his webpage are AI generated, which is just weird. And and the thing is, this guy just doesn't even know what he's talking about half the time. Like, he was going on Threads about how the iPod Hi-Fi invented the premium iPod speaker market, which is just flat out not true. Like, Jason Snell was like getting in beef with this guy about it, like calling him out on it, and then he subsequently got blocked, which is just hilarious. He was talking about how the iPod Hi-Fi was discontinued because Apple didn't want to interfere with the Beats acquisition, which is just flat out wrong because the iPod Hi-Fi was discontinued in 2007. Beats had only been in business for 1 year. They hadn't shipped a product yet, and Apple didn't acquire Beats for like another 7 years later. So like, where are you just coming up with this crap? Like,
Wow.
he's
gotten under your
he's some
skin.
sort of he claims to be some sort of Apple genius. And here's the thing: if you go to his website and you click on any of like these
I
blocks on
just
his
noticed
page,
this. Yeah.
it goes to a page where you can book an hour-long design consulting meeting with him for $500 an hour.
I think you should
I
book
mean,
one.
he's
I think I
Steve
should
Jobs' protege. I think that might be
Okay.
worth it.
So here's the thing. I reached out to a few notable Apple employees who I know worked at Apple on similar projects as him at the same time. I reached out to Lisa Melton on Mastodon. Lisa Melton, practically the inventor, like she is as close as you can get to like the person singularly responsible for creating Safari on a Mac. So same time period. And she said, and I quote, "I have no memory of someone by that name, but certainly he wasn't some kind of protege of Steve Jobs because I certainly would have known him. And Scott Forstall was about the only person who could lay claim to such a title." I reached out to another person, Cricket, who that's what he goes by, and he has a blog.
Jiminy?
He has a blog like Tech Reflect, where this person has worked on the Mail app on OS 10. They worked on Aperture, all around the same early 2000s time period. And it doesn't get any better than this, who said, "His resume on LinkedIn is definitely 100% spin with maybe a tiny sprinkling of truth. Nobody that talks about themselves like that lasts at Apple for very long. We never hire pretentious blowhards like that. Just for fun, I searched old email and I see only 6 emails from him ever, all to an Apple internal humor mailing list. There is probably no one that worked on the Mac that I don't have dozens of emails from. I have more direct emails from Steve Jobs than that."
I mean, I can't tell if this guy's trolling or not, but I do love that his whole page is just littered with images of Apple. And I don't know if any of this stuff has anything to do with him at all.
Yeah, maybe projects he worked on, like,
And also
as one
pictures of
person
him.
amongst a team of like dozens of other people. But then like he has pictures of like .Mac or all these Apple software boxes that
And I do love it if you click one of the images because you're like, oh, I want to read more about what he did here. The title was "I Put My Boss on the Cover of Rolling Stone," and that's a picture of Steve Jobs and Rolling Stones. And you click it, and it takes you to, like Griffin said, a page where you can try to schedule time with him for $500 an hour. And I'm like, why would I click on an image where I wanted to read more about the story that you teased and then book an hour of time with you? That is a great logical disconnect. Like, what am I doing here? Why would I want to pay you for anything? Although, should we pay this guy $500 to come on our show for an hour?
I like it.
Maybe I can get him give us a deal.
Oh my God! Design partner.
He's
Silicon
Apple
Valley's
pioneer.
Portfolio firm.
And it gets so gross. He posted a video on Twitter where he was like plugging some AI garbage that he's been working on, using a deep faked video of Steve Jobs, using his voice, like cutting it in with video from like a Apple keynote, which is just gross.
It's bizarre, man.
Yeah.
Well, his calendar's wide open. We can literally pick any day we want.
Big
Write a book
surprise.
one.
He is available from
See if
9
you
to
can
4
find a
p.m.
spot.
literally every single weekday. He's booked up in December,
Oh
but
my God! Does
in
he
January he's wide open.
he probably lives like right down the street from me.
Yeah, he probably knows Leander. Leander probably interviewed him for the book.
Oh my God!
Oh man. Okay. Well, I never
This
even
is
heard of this
disturbing.
guy, which is surprising because as an Apple pioneer and a skeuomorph, is that the same as a? The same as that thing in the Aliens, skeuomorph. No, maybe not. Xenomorph.
Xenomorph. Yeah. So, did you read his little description of himself?
Well, which
Michael's
one?
techniques-
There's
Michael's
multiple.
techniques have been proven to uncover
Describing him as a
connectors
skeuomorph is
in order to inform a company's overall business strategy while strengthening the ties between products, brands, and audience. For many breakthrough product experiences we have come to know and love, such as the original versions of iTunes, GarageBand, iCloud, and iLife. That's probably about a 70-word sentence.
Well, I wonder if this guy's making any money. He might be onto something. I might have to create a little website for myself where you guys can book me for $800 an hour to talk about my personal relationship with Steve Jobs. All right, that's Darius Design. What an oddball.
Wow.
I like these pictures he has of himself on here. All right, Lewis,
I can
on to you
close
for
to
your
that.
first pick of worst things of 2023.
All right, this is something I did not like in 2023. Apple hiking all of its services prices.
Oh, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Apple One Premier, the one that I've got, I've had for ages, since the very moment they launched it, went from what, $29.99 a month to I think $37.99 a month, which is fair increase. Not a fair, a large size increase is what I'm trying to say. I said fair, but I meant fairly large. $37.95, right? So I'm still saving $29 a month because I get all these things that also got jacked up in price throughout the year. I mean, what do they charge? I don't even know what they charge for Apple News Plus these days. It's something outrageous. Oh yeah, $12.99 a month. Apple TV Plus this year went from what, $6.99 to $9.99.
Yep.
I mean, I didn't even realize this. Music is now $16.99 a month. I mean, wow, they just jacked them all up. It's crazy. Anyway, I think I like that Apple One Premiere. I've like I said, I've used it forever, and I like the fact that I can listen to my Apple Music. I like the fact that I could do a Apple Fitness Plus workout if I feel like it. Obviously, haven't been doing them much lately. I like the fact that I can read Apple News Plus once in a while, when and if I have time to read a magazine story. I of course use iCloud every day, and honestly, they couldn't give me a little bit more storage when they jacked up my thing.
Why give you more storage when we can charge you for that, Lewis?
Right, that's terrible. TV Plus, $10 a month. I mean, it was great at $4.99 a month. It's not a bad deal at $6.99 a month, $9.99 a month. Oh, it's starting to be expensive.
Starting to get
all
up
these
there.
things getting expensive. I mean,
Mhm.
Apple TV Plus just by itself has now moved itself into the I don't know if I need to keep this zone, right? I mean, it's a shame. I mean, I know that Tim Cook likes to make his money, and Apple likes to pull in a bunch of cash every month, and they've been naked about how they're going to make money off services. But I don't know. I'm feeling a little bit ripped off this year because that is a substantial price hike, and I'm not. Am I getting anything more for it? No. I mean, I guess there's a couple of extra Apple TV Plus shows that I don't watch. Another season of Slow Horses, that's good. But I don't know. I find that to be one of the big disappointments of the year.
Well, then, what a great segue from yours into mine. Because I was going to do this as my second pick, but you teed me up perfectly. Because one of my big complaints about 2023 is that the state of streaming, just all streaming services, we're in this weird place where we are redoing cable TV, right? You pay for these ad-free experiences, and then they keep raising the price, and now they're introducing ads again. Like, ads were gone. That's what I was paying you for. And all of these walled off ecosystems, if you want to watch their content, now you have to go and pay for every single one. They all think that their systems are worth $10, $15, $20 a month, and they're not. Everyone's trying to figure out how to make money because network television is dead and nothing is ad supported anymore, although we're getting back to that place now. And everyone always starts with the low cost. It's like, oh, my streaming service is just $5 a month, like Apple TV. And then they start raising the price and raising the price and raising the price. And then they do what Disney Plus did this year, is they jack their fee for the non-ad service way up, and then they introduce the ad-supported service, which just happened to be the same price as it was before, but now it's with ads. And so now you got to pay for this content, and it's more expensive than ever, and now you're watching ads. And then in the future, they're going to start including more ads and more ads and more ads. And soon we're going to be fully back to cable TV. We're slowly migrating from cable TV exists on TV to cable TV just existing on the internet. You know, and Apple, we heard a rumor earlier this year that Apple is thinking about starting to bundle these services together. I mean, what a great novel idea, just like cable TV. I'm sure there'll be plenty of shopping channels and golf channels for you to watch on your new Apple streaming service. I would be shocked if Apple didn't introduce a ad-supported tier this year for Apple TV Plus. So they'll jack up the rate for Apple TV Plus to like $13 or $14.99, and then the $9.99 tier will include ads of some kind. Although I could also see Apple not doing that because showing ads is so distasteful, and it's something that Apple really hasn't done across many of their other services, except for in the in the App Store. So I could see them not doing it, but I'm just sick of this, man. Amazon Video is at the end of, I guess, the beginning of January, going to be churning on ads for all people who use Amazon Video. And if you want to turn the ads back off, now you got to pay them $3 a month. I'm just so sick of all the nickel and diming across all these different streaming services. And I get that everyone needs to make money. I don't know what the answer is, but I am sick of having to subscribe to all these different platforms. And now you subscribe and they want to show you ads. And it's like, dude, I don't want to watch ads. I don't want my kids watching ads. So I'm not really sure what the answer is, but everyone's trying to figure out how to monetize their content because the ad ecosystem is completely collapsed and no one can make ads or no one can make money that way anymore. And people have to make money to make content. Like, I get that. But I'm sick of it.